Good morning, dear students. Today we'll have a new unit in your course book Wishes. So I need you before we start to hold your book and turn to unit 4.5. Now let's start the unit, which is entitled Genetically Modified Food. Do you know first what is meant by genetically modified foods? Yes, correct. It is a type of food which is genetically engineered. Now, let's start with hearing something. Here I have someone who talks about his favorite vegetables and fruits, where he buys them and whether they are grown locally or not. So listen please.
My favorite vegetables are potatoes, carrots and broccoli. My favorite fruit are apples. I usually buy all my fruit and vegetables at the supermarket. Sometimes I go to the local market to buy them. In my country, most of the fruit and vegetables are grown locally on farms or in greenhouses.
So, yes, they are grown locally. Let's see here. Here he says, my favorite vegetables are potatoes, carrots and broccoli. My favorite fruit are apples. I usually buy all my fruit and vegetables at the supermarket. Sometimes I go to the local market to buy them. In my country, most of the fruit and vegetables are grown locally on farms or in greenhouses. Now, let's come to the following part. Here he presents what is meant by genetically modified food.
Genetically modified foods are a good thing. Crops are protected because they are resistant to disease.
You're right. And because more crops survive, there is more supply. This means that the price should come down, so poverty is reduced.
Exactly. I've also heard that it's possible to make GM crops more nutritious. For example, they can grow rice which has a higher vitamin content.
So here they talk about how the food is genetically modified, whether in the size or even in the nutritious value of it. So here, genetically modified food made from genetically modified organisms in which the genetic material, the DNA, has been altered or changed in a way that does not occur naturally, like for example tomatoes, corn, soybeans and so on. Now we will hear the text and discuss it together. Then we will answer the following exercises.
GM foods. A. John Reynolds.
I think that quite a lot of people have got the wrong end of the stick when it comes to GM food, because the media have produced so many sensationalist stories on the topic. One thing that is often overlooked is that genetic engineering isn't really anything new. Farmers have been doing it for thousands of years by cultivating hybrids, which means putting two varieties of plant together to make a new variety. The difference today is that scientific knowledge and technology have advanced to the point where we can now alter a plant to make it resistant to disease or stop insects eating it. Also, we are even working on ways to develop foods that are more nutritional. This is very important for places like Africa, which suffer from food shortages because of the harsh climate. It's also crucial that as the population of the world increases, we make sure we will be able to feed everyone on the planet.
As yet, there's been no final decision as to whether commercial GM crops are going to be farmed in Britain. It's inevitable that they
will be in the near future, though, when all the controversy about it has died down. When that happens, I'll be applying for a license straight away. If you're not involved in farming, then I'm not sure you know how much hard work goes into getting food into the shops and on the table. I'm all for using scientific methods to produce high-quality food, and, as far as I'm concerned, any crop that is resistant to disease without being sprayed with chemicals is a good thing. I've got nothing against organic farming, except that it's very expensive, and I don't think it's possible to produce enough food for everyone using such methods. I think people will come round to GM farming when they realise this.
C. Oliver Goldsmith.
It's not true that we can't grow enough food to feed everyone by using traditional farming methods. There is already enough food on the planet. It's just that not everyone is getting it. This is because food is big business, and the companies that sell the seeds to grow food want to make profits, not feed the hungry. If the GM food corporations get their way, they will control all the food in the world. That in itself is worrying, but it's even worse when you think about the other problems with GM food. The truth is that no one, not even the scientists, know what effects GM food will have on human health and the environment, because there hasn't been sufficient time to carry out the necessary research. One worry is that natural plants will die out because of these crops, and we will lose our natural biodiversity. So basically, until we have more information, they should be banned.
D. Mary Cullen.
It's all a bit confusing, to be honest, knowing what food is safe to eat and what isn't. There have been so many health scares about food recently that I'm not sure I trust the government to tell the truth. I mean, they did seem to mislead the public about mad cow disease, didn't they? I'm very concerned about GM food because I want to be sure that what I give my kids to eat isn't going to harm them now or in the long run. I always check the labels on packaging so that I know I'm not buying anything that has a GM product in it, just to be on the safe side. If the scientists can prove beyond a doubt that it's risk-free, that would put my mind at rest, and I'd be quite happy to buy it. But until then, I'd rather not gamble with the health of my children.
Now let's discuss the vocabulary. Here, for example, in this sentence, farmers have been doing it for thousands of years by cultivating hybrids. What is meant by cultivating? Yes, it's growing plants. And where we can now alter a plant, it means to change a plant, to make it resistant to. What is meant by resistant to? Yes, unaffected by. Then I have which suffer from food shortages because of the harsh climate. It is also crucial that as the population of the world increases, we make sure that we will be able to feed everyone on the planet. So crucial means important. Now let's come to the second speaker. Here I have when all the controversy about it has died down. Controversy here means the debate or the argument about that topic. The third one, here he says, because there hasn't been sufficient time to carry out the necessary research. Sufficient here means what? Yes, enough. So basically, until we have more information, they should be banned. Banned means prohibited or not allowed at all. Now let's come to the last one. Here, I am not sure I trust the government to tell the truth. I mean, they did seem to mislead the public. Mislead here means they misinform them. And finally, I would rather not gamble with the health of my children. Here, gamble with means risk. Now let's answer exercise number 3 according to the text which we have listened to and read. First of all, we are going to say which speaker says so. I have speakers A, B, C, and D. Number 1, who is the one who questions the motives of genetically modified companies? Okay, before we start correcting together, I will give you about 2 minutes to answer. Okay, so now let's start. Number 1, the one who questions the motives of genetically modified companies. Yes, who? Right. Number C, who is certain that genetically modified food will eventually become accepted? Yes. Number B, who believes genetically modified food is essential for human survival? Yes. Number A, who claimed genetically modified food has ancient origins? Yes. Number A, would like to see the sale of genetically modified food stopped? Yes. Number C, might be willing to invest in genetically modified products? Number B, says that most people don't know how food is produced? Yes. Number B, thinks genetically modified food will be more nourishing in the future, and nourishing here means nutritious? Yes, correct. Number A, looks at the information printed on food containers? Yes. Number D, and finally isn't certain that official information is reliable? Yes. Number D. Now let's come to exercise number 4. You are going to match the words in bold to their meaning. So let's start. Nourishing, we said it means, yes, number D, nutritious. Cultivating means what? Yes, growing. Then alter means what? Yes, B, change. Resistant to, yes, unaffected by. Crucial, yeah, important. Number E, controversy, yes, argument or debatable. Yes. Number H, sufficient, yes, means enough. Banned, yeah, prohibited. Number A, mislead, misinform, right? I, and finally gamble with is to risk, correct. Now let's move to exercise number 6. We are going to complete these phrases from the text itself. First of all, I have stories, so I can say, yeah, sensationalist stories. Engineering, I say what? Yes, genetic engineering. To disease, yeah, resistant to disease. Shortages, yes, food. Okay, climate, harsh, yeah. To what profits? Yes, I can hear you. Make, right? Okay. Food, yeah, high quality food. In the what? Yes, in the long run. Okay. Decision, yeah, final decision. And to be on the safe side, correct. So, are you for or against genetically modified food? By this we have finished our unit for today. See you later. Best wishes and bye.